Hi and welcome back. So in today's video we're going to make some coasters using these beautiful fluted edge molds, some clear resin and some ink colours. So these are acrylic inks. They're gorgeous. Blue, my ultimate favourite colour. And we're going to go and try to get a sort of bloom effect. We're also going to use this Vista Polar White pigment for resin. So the resin that we're currently using is by Resin Pro. It's lovely and clear. There we are. That's Wayne's just shown you. He's going to divide it amongst those. He's going to put some in those two silicone mixing jugs, and then he's going to put the rest of it into the molds themselves. Sorry about the shadows that we've got going on there. We are going to come up with a much better way of filming projects for future videos. So there we go. Make sure you wear your gloves. As you can see, Wayne is actually touching resin, but his hands are protected. You wear your respirator mask. You keep your room well ventilated. Wear arm and sleeve protectors, which is what I've got currently for all artistic and creations that I'm doing. So there we are. He's just finishing dividing up the rest of the clear resin amongst the 4 coasters. I love these coasters. I love the fluted edge of them. Yeah. So he's just going to use a little wooden stir stick there, or popsicle stick, or tongue depressor, I think some people call them. That reminds me of the doctors. So just to scrape around the sides of the pot there and get every last little bit of resin into the molds. There we are. So look at that lovely blue glitter. He's going to put a little bit into the centre of each of the moulds. And I think the original intention was to see if it would stay in the centre of the mould and sink down, or whether it would do what it's doing now, which is what it is doing. It's dissipating. So it almost looks like it's dissolving into the resin. Now, we have found that this happens with some of the glitters from the range, which is a shop it's a shop that you can go to in the UK. So now what he's going to do, he's not going to mix the glitter in. So this is very, very much experimental as well, I might add. So he's not going to mix the glitter in. He is going to put some drops of this beautiful deep blue ink into the mould like that. And look how they spread. Just spreads. Magic almost. There we are. And as you can see, the glitter is also spread out. Looks like it's dissolved slightly. It does tend to, with this particular glitter, colour the resin slightly. He's also added some, as you can see there, into one of the mixing jugs. Just stirred that up. That was sped up a bit, that bit. Adding a little bit more in there. Lovely. And as you can see, the rest of the acrylic ink that he's put in the moulds is gradually spreading. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful colour. So actually, I think that was the other, yes, it was. That was the other colour ink that he showed us. So that's more of a, I would call that a tealish blue colour. So he's just trying to pour it round the edge of the mould there. Resin will move. That's what resin will do. It moves. So it will not stay put in one place. There we go. And then in the other little jug there, mixing jug, he's put in some of the Polar White pigment. Everything that we're using, the makes, the manufacturers, any links that we have will be listed in the description box for you. Unfortunately, we don't have any discount codes. Although, who knows, in future we may have. Fingers crossed. So here we are. He's mixed up the white, and all he's going to do, rather than going round and round in circles, like a spiral, or trying to draw petal patterns, he's doing what I can only call as a I don't know what design. Squiggle. Let's go with a squiggle design. So it looks like that. Now you can, if you don't feel happy using a mixing jug, you can use a very small piping bag. Obviously you then need to just make sure that it's firmly secured, little snip at one end of the piping bag, and then you usually have much more control. And you can obviously do a different pattern with the white resin. You could do lots of patterns in the shape of the letter M or W, or you could just go round and round in a spiral, getting closer and closer, starting on the outside and then going into the middle, so getting closer and closer. So he's now using a silicone tipped brush, and he's just going from the outside into the middle, and then from the middle to the outside of the resin, and then giving a little swirl in the middle. So it looks a little bit like a flower. So there we are. There's a very similar technique you may have seen if you watch anybody who is an acrylic paint pouring artist. They do a very similar sort of design and style with a couple of techniques that they do. So there's sort of like an overlap there from resin artwork into acrylic paint pouring. So this is when they've cured a good sort of 12 to 24 hours later. And as you can see, you've got a bit of a petal-like bloom effect going on, where it goes a little bit darker into the middle and then the swirl. Now, Wayne has put gloves back on again. They are clear though, so he's got bare skin there. He is still wearing gloves, is still protecting himself. Now, they weren't quite full enough, these coasters, so he made up some more clear resin, and all he's doing is he's pouring it into them, making sure that he's got enough so it goes to the top of the mould, and then with the aid of the heat gun, he is just pushing the resin around with the aid of the heat gun, just to get it to go to the edges of the mould. Now, we're using the heat gun to do this because it's pretty cold over here in the UK, and the room where we do all our craft projects isn't particularly warm. So with it being winter time, you know, you just need to give the resin a little bit of a hand to do its job there. But look at that. It also helps a bit if you've got any bubbles. So then this is another 12 to 24 hours later, and it's completely cured. And can you see the way the ink has reacted with the resin, the sort of petal-like effect that it gives, or bloom, I think is the better thing to call it. It gives like a bloom effect. So there we are. These are translucent. You can also decide which way round you want to do them. Look at that. That does remind me of coral on the seafloor, on the bed, barrier reef and all that lot. Not that I've ever been. And then the other side, yes, it's more of maybe something that you might see in, you know, in a galaxy or midnight sky, perhaps. I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments, as always. Oh, look at that. Oh, no, that's like frosted snowflakes. That one. So you could have these either way. If you preferred them one way rather than the other, you could always put a dark backing, a thin coat of dark resin on the back that you don't want to see, and then it will make the other side pop, the colour pop even more. Totally up to you what you decide to do. So there we are. He's just checking the surfaces there as well on the edges. Round the edges, it is a deep enough edge that you could also go round it with some silver leaf or some of the silver chrome pen that we've got, or paint, just to give it that additional little bit of a finishing touch. Totally up to you. As I say, these are always a how-to type of videos we do. You know, it's up to you. You take, this is the basis for you, the basic one, if you like, and then you can always put your spin on it. But there we go. There. If you do decide to do this one in future, why not give us a mention, give us a shout out, do a maybe even, how about a hashtag Lottie Jasmine Designs even. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there. So this is just demoing it so you can see it with a white background, so you can see just how clear the resin is, the full effect, and then the side, the edge. That's really pretty. Really, really pretty. And then after this, we've got the final shot coming up where you can see all four together and just how beautiful they look. Don't forget, we upload videos 3 times a week on Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. We have, here is the final shot now. Oh, that looks beautiful. So that gives you the idea of what they look like on a dark background. Look at little bits of glitter there too. Wow. These are really, really beautiful. Thanks again for watching, for liking, sharing, subscribing. Give us the thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. Stick us a comment down. And hopefully, if you've joined us in the live chat, thanks for joining. And we will see you again very soon. Goodbye.